Have you questioned this about Harry Potter?
Whose name was mentioned more in the Harry Potter series? Fred or George? Yesterday, I put up a poll asking all of you this question, and 82% of you voted for Fred. So let's see if you're right. The Sorcerer's Stone started out strong for George, as Ron referenced him individually when he told Harry that George gave him the idea for the spell that was supposed to turn Scabbers yellow, and that George swore that he once got a booger-flavored Berty Bott's every flavor bean. But the whole debacle with Fred messing with Mrs. Weasley about getting his name wrong on platform 9 3/4 really gave Fred the edge here. Fred takes game 1, 34-30. Fred got off to a hot start in Chamber of Secrets, as he was the getaway driver when the Weasleys rescued Harry from Privet Drive, and George tried to make a late game push when he became Harry's personal bodyguard against the rogue bludger in their Quidditch match against Slytherin. But it was already too late, as Fred takes game 2, 103-91. Fred actually had a lot of sympathetic dialogue in The Prisoner of Azkaban, as he continually assured Oliver Wood that this was the year Gryffindor would win the Quidditch Cup, and he comforted Harry when he was attacked by Dementors in their loss to Ravenclaw. George went more for the sense of humor route in this one, as he told Harry the story of how he tried to lock Percy in a pyramid on their trip to Egypt. But much like the movie they were in, the darker tone favored Fred here, as he won game 3, 81-66. Goblet of Fire is where we really saw the Weasley twins come into their own, as they bet their entire life savings that Ireland would win the Quidditch Cup, but Crumb would catch the snitch, and they won. They began selling their Weasley's Wizard Wheezes merchandise, and Harry gave them 100% of his Tri-Wizard winnings, which later bought them their premises in Diagon Alley. Though both twins had a great year, it was truly Fred who shined brightest when he asked Angelina Johnson to go the Yule Ball with him, and his antics while cutting up the rug at the ball gave him game 4, 185-163. George knew he was down big to his older brother coming in to Order of the Phoenix, and knew he had to make a statement. And he certainly did that, as he beat Malfoy to a pulp in front of the whole school after Malfoy insulted his parents. Sadly, this was not enough, as Fred did what he's done so often throughout the series and cracked 1 or 2 more jokes than George, as he wins game 5, 317-284. Half-Blood Prince was the tightest matchup we've seen so far, as the twins were no longer at Hogwarts, and most of the scenes we got from them were at their new joke shop. But Fred took full advantage of the minutes he got by giving Harry, Ron, and Hermione a full tour of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, while George came in for bits and pieces of the tour, but kept on getting swept away by other customers. And though this was a good business decision for George, it's not going to get him the win here, as Fred takes game 6, 72-64. Before I get into our final match, I'd like to give a shout out to Christopher Walker, who subscribed and commented the correct answer on the poll. If you'd like a shout out in a future video, make sure to subscribe. Now, on to our final and most emotional battle of the series, Deathly Hallows. Fred was able to take this game comfortably, and I think we all know why. With his last and heroic act, Fred wins game 7, 92-76. And I'm sure with seeing how things turned out, George would be the happiest to know that Fred wins this series with a final score of 884-774.